What's up, guys? We're back. We got a brand new video. It's a long one. It's going to be a series. This is part one. 67 days surrounded by enemies. Battle for Pinterest Strongpoint. This is by a channel we have not reacted to yet. It looks like a Ukrainian channel, Ukrainian creator, and he's got almost 2 million views, so he's got a following. I'm excited to watch this. Actually, a couple people have sent me this video to do reaction to, so this is going to be good. Real quick, I just want to say thank you to the members, you guys, so much. It means the world to me, genuinely. I want to be clear about something. People who are becoming members, anybody supporting the channel in this way, they're supporting me directly, right? You're supporting me, what I'm doing here in Ukraine, living, right, and working with the people that I work with, okay? I know that's, it's not extremely transparent, but there's been NDAs that have been signed and different things like this, but there are some things that I'm going to be able to talk about in the coming future. But I just want to say thank you for the support, and the reason why I'm specifying this is because I want there to be no confusion, that I don't want to be grouped up in this category of what we call grifters, people who come to Ukraine and either served no time in the military, or they're just claiming that they did, and then they are basically just using the war for content and making money for themselves, right? They have fake footage, or it's footage that they claim is theirs, but it's not theirs, or they claim, hey, I'm helping this unit or this hospital. They get all this money and then they use it for themselves. So I want to differentiate between that. If you're supporting me in this channel, it's going to me, right? I'm not claiming to go be giving this to, Ukrainian babies or something like that, right? We'll leave it at that. You guys know who I am. My name is Saxon. I go by Vegas here in Ukraine. I was in the International Legion, 1st Battalion, Charlie Platoon. Let's check this shit out.
I stood up, and my brain went into overdrive, as if it was working at 200%. I would survive 100%.
Let's restart this.
A convoy of enemy vehicles was moving.
In my brain, I stood up, and my brain went into overdrive, as if it was working at 200%. I would survive 100%. I heard the fucker running and said, kill him, damn it. I flattened myself against the wall here. They're all exploding against the wall, and it did not roll to us. Because Sanya, he died, he crouched. And in the place where he crouched, he blocked the last hole through which anything could get to us.
There are about 50 corpses of the occupier lying near them, as well as 6 units of burnt enemy armored vehicles.
He literally blocked it with his own body. Grenade didn't reach us. Do you understand that? Fuck.
Bro. The story of an
Holy shit. What? Oh, Charlie's playing with my camera, sorry. Charlie, you're too big to be up here. Dude, what a heavy start. Holy cow. You can tell just by the way that guy was talking and the look in his eyes, he is traumatized. And how could you not be, based off that story? His buddy plugged the hole of the little trench that they were in with his body to save them, or it ended up saving them from more grenades coming in. Wow, that's incredible. This is going to be a crazy video.
Incredible feat. 8 soldiers of the Freedom National Guard Battalion fought for 67 days in encirclement to halt the Russian offensive on the city of Siversk. 67 continuous days in the dugout. In a small dugout. All supplies were delivered by drones, and they would only leave the dugout to repel another attack, another assault, another attack. Relentless shelling and unending struggle for survival. The entire battalion, which supports these 8 heroes with all their drones and all their fire means. Dozens of corpses of the Russian occupiers, burnt armor. One of the Ukrainian heroes died a hero's death. 7 soldiers broke through the encirclement. This is the story as told by the position commander. Lieutenant of the National Guard of Ukraine, Vladislav Stotsky, and the commander of the Freedom Battalion, Petro Kuzik.
It turned out that these two positions
Okay, so just to make sure I've got this straight, there's 8 of them in a position. Basically, they are being fully pushed by the Russians, and they have been cut off from reinforcements, and the only resupplies they're getting is flown in by drones, which is happening more and more regularly here. Drones coming in, dropping ammo, dropping if it can carry the ammo, but dropping waters, food, MREs, grenades, stuff like that for the soldiers to use. Let's keep going.
transitioned into a special status. A series of events led to this. The orcs had intensified their offensive, broke through the defenses of our neighboring units, and, for various reasons, they were forced to withdraw. This required us to rebuild the defense system. Essentially, an additional perimeter was added, identical to the one we had been defending, had to be secured. I made the decision to initially leave these 2 positions in the gray zone, but later they turned out to be surrounded. But it was my decision, and I communicated it to the fighters. The soldiers, including the officer in charge of the position, understood the significance of their mission. We explained the operational principles to them and why this task was crucial. They realized that they were covering a good part of the unit. And in fact, without these positions, a high-quality maneuver would not have been possible. Without these positions, it was really unfeasible to hold or break this active phase of the offensive.
How old are you?
I am 25 years old.
It's not a frequent occurrence when an officer, senior lieutenant, is on the front line with infantry alone. Have you ever seen anyone like that?
Honestly, I've never seen anything like it. I don't go around asking anyone or announcing, "Hello, I'm a senior lieutenant." It's only later, when we're having coffee, that they ask me when I started my service. And I asked them, "When did you start your service?" When I was mobilized. I came on my own. They asked me, "When did you begin?" And I explained that in 2019, I joined the 3047th Military Unit in Zhytomyr, signed a contract for service, then went back and forth, entered the academy, and completed my studies. Now I'm a senior lieutenant. They find out that I'm a senior lieutenant. Then they asked, "What's your rank?" I replied, "Senior lieutenant." And they asked, "Why are you in the trenches?" I responded, "Why not? Can an officer take part in combat operations?" That's what I trained for.
Wow. Look, you're a senior lieutenant, deputy for personnel.
No, I'm a platoon commander.
But you were already a deputy, weren't you? So this position does not require you to be on the front line at all.
No, it doesn't.
And yet, you chose your first combat position. A lower position. Is that correct? A lower position. So, Vladislav chose a lower position during the war than the one he was assigned to. Tell us, how did you manage to survive in such...
So he demoted himself to continue to be in the fight with his comrades.
conditions?
It's not that there wasn't enough. They delivered the bare minimum we needed. When I arrived at the position, I set some rules. All right, guys, tea and coffee are canceled. Of course, a little bit here and there, but overall, it didn't matter much. I think they understood me later. Tea and coffee, canceled. Washing, also canceled. Brush your teeth. If there's enough water, only one person brushes. We pour just a bit into a cup, rinse the brush and clean. I led by example, and soon everyone was doing the same. They said that we needed to create at least some kind of stock. When you're thirsty, really thirsty, you can't just endure it. You smoke cigarettes there. It was full of smoke. No wind flew through. It's hell. Just an oven. A stinking oven. It stank of sweat. It stank of shit. It stank of piss. It felt like a luxury to drink water at least. We drank sparingly. Everyone drank half a sip. We cooked together. We ate together. What did we eat? At first, we steamed instant mashed potatoes. We boiled water and steamed the instant mashed potatoes. We had bread, canned food, sardines with the mashed potatoes.
We had stew. We opened a can of stew. The fat was drained from the stew. In order to add water, in order to use less water, we heated the stew. Fat rose to the top. We poured it into a pot. We added water, boiled it. This is how we steamed instant mashed potatoes. We ate that with stew. Tubes of peanut butter. It was so good. We ate it with bread. The first time we got those, my God, it was amazing. But towards the end, we started thinking, damn, let's order something. Anything else. Then they delivered us 2 packs of Vienna sausages, Bockwurst sausages. That was a real treat for us. Do you know how we opened package? We were like kids. We pulled out food and everyone would cheer. Oh, pull out a pack of cigarettes. Oh, a gas cylinder. Oh, a bottle of water. Oh, well, you know.
Was it your only shelter?
Yes, it was the only shelter, the only one. I'll explain it in military terms as it is, a hole, the entrance. These are my feet in the photo. I took this picture myself. Roma Rim was sitting on the right. He was smearing his feet with Timorova's paste. There was a sort of bench. You could sit, but you couldn't stand up. Same in the hole, you couldn't stand. At best, you could kneel. That's the maximum height. On the left, there were 2 small bunks where 2 people could lie down. One person would stay on duty, and one would rest on the right. I organized the service. All right, guys, let's do 3-hour shifts. I started with the 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. shift and also took the 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. shift. Each person took turns being on duty for 3 hours, sitting by the radio set. The other 2 went about their duties rest. Plus, we were also getting covered with soil a bit there. I told them, let's only do this at night. At night, when the bags with foodstuffs were dropped to us, we'd use them to collect and dispose of the excess soil so the hole wouldn't flood. I also warned them to be ready in case it rained. For anything else, like going to the toilet or answering the call of nature, went out further.
Could you get out?
No, never. During the day and night, we stayed completely covert. It was a camouflage position, no movement at all. At night, we went out to collect supplies. During the day, we left dugout to engage if there was an assault, some activity, or if we needed to engage a target. The position in front of us was called pickup. They stayed covert too. No movement, no shooting, in order not to decamouflage themselves. So, we left dugout and fired a bit from the GP or the Fort 600.
Tell me what would have happened. Explain the danger. Why did you have to hide like that?
The activity of the enemy's drones was no less, and sometimes even greater, than that of ours. Although I can't say that the Freedom Battalion wasn't well supplied. It is awesome. Their supplies are top-notch. But the Russian army already has everything and more. We were terrorized by the Mavic carousel. One Mavic would hover with an explosive payload, waiting for us to come out of the hole. It just hovered above us until the battery ran low. Then it would drop its explosive payload. At that moment, a second drone would already be flying in. Or if we came out, the first would drop its explosive payload, and the second would immediately replace it. We said, guys, we're sick and tired. Let's go out and shoot him down. So we went out with flashlights, waited and pinpointed where it was hovering. We said, create some movement. Shoot to draw its attention, and we're on the other side so that he'll pay attention to you, fly to you. And we were waiting on the other side. He created the movement. Shot. Something was transmitted on the walkie-talkie. The soldier shot. We saw the drone descend, looking for a target. It descended so well, we shot it down. What do you think happened next? We thought, great, one less drone to worry about. Then hell began. FPVs and explosive payload came non-stop. Shooting down that drone made them go mad. They bombarded us relentlessly. No shelling, no mortars. Just FPVs, explosive payload drops, FPVs. Ours ended up 4 men, the same position. But it was adjacent. 2 were from the NGU. 2 were from the AFU. The 54th Brigade, K2 Battalion. Amazing guys, real respect to them. During the day, positions would shift regardless. There would always be some shelling or debris falling. At night, we had to restore everything to how it looked during the day, because they would scan for any changes in the morning. One night, they tore a chain link fence, the kind of fences that are stretched. The cook and, maybe you know, the historian from the 3rd Battalion went out to fix it. I stayed on the radio set while Joystick went to pick up some provisions on ATV. We had a delivery. He rode on a Joystick was a guy with brass balls. He was one-legged, by the way, but still stayed in the trench with us. While they fixed the net, I stayed on radio set, keeping everything under control. I heard them coming out.
Somebody asked me if you could go back out and fight if you lose a limb and you're wearing a prosthetic. There's your answer. It's crazy, but I've seen so many people lose mostly legs, right? Because if you lose an arm, it's a little bit more difficult to fight with prosthetic, especially if it's your dominant arm. But I've seen so many people with prosthetic legs out there. They just go get surgery, go get their leg, do a little physical therapy, literally a little bit of physical therapy, then come straight back.
Literally 2 minutes later, I heard the drone buzzing. I thought, they should come in now. I heard the buzzing getting louder, then bam. I heard an explosion, and then screaming. I ran outside shouting, "What's going on?" The historian told me, "We're both wounded." One of the AFU guys, a cook, was lying down, so I dragged him over to me. I said, "Show me where you're hurt." He replied, "Everything hurts, everything hurts, everything hurts." I started examining him, an initial check, tactical medicine. First, I looked for massive bleeding. I asked, "Where is it? Where? Show me something." He took off his shirt, and I saw that he was missing skin there, just exposed ribs. I could literally see his lungs moving, see them breathing. "Okay, we need to apply a dressing on this," I said. "What about elsewhere? Any arteries hit, a broken leg maybe?" He said, "Check my leg." I looked at his leg and saw blood, but it wasn't gushing, just a steady flow. I applied a tourniquet and said, "All right, let's stop the bleeding with some hemostatic gauze and bandage it." I couldn't tamponade the chest wound, so I told him, "I'll just bandage it." I started bandaging him, then checked the other side, same damn thing. I used 2 bandages and 2 hemostatic dressings. I asked the historian, "What about you? You said you're wounded."
He made a comment that he couldn't pack the wound, the chest wound, right? For some people this might be obvious, but we say never pack the box, right? Because this is a hollow cavity. This is where your organs are. But if you start pushing in gauze and hemostatic dressings and stuff like that into trying to pack it, you'll just stuff all your shit straight into this person's abdominal cavity, right? So usually the best course of action is, if it's a smaller wound, you can use a chest seal, which is like this big, right? Chest seal like this. Even better is a vented chest seal, so that oxygen can come out of the wound, out from the chest seal, but no oxygen gets in and creates a pneumothorax, which is the pressure inside of your abdomen. Like air comes into the wound, puts pressure inside of your abdomen, and that pressure puts pressure on your heart and then stops your heart. That's the second most cause of death out here in Ukraine is there's pneumothorax and there's pneumohemothorax, which is the same principle, but blood fills up the cavity and puts pressure on your organs and causes your organs to shut down. But pneumothorax is the second cause of death, only behind massive bleeds, hemorrhage.
He was an older guy, but he said, "Don't worry, Spark, I'm fine, lightly wounded." He sat down on the bed and waited, saying, "Help Artur." I went over to Artur and he said, "Check my head, it's hurting." He had shrapnel in his head. His leg was also pierced, damn it, his leg was pierced. I applied a bandage and turned back to the historian. The historian, as I saw, he was already weakening, and then I noticed his entire pant leg was soaked in blood. I said, "Mr. Historian, you're okay, but your leg is bleeding. Take off your pants and take a look." Took them off, and his leg was really badly punctured too. I said, "Let's apply tourniquet. Why are you just lying there not helping yourself?" I applied the tourniquet to him, and that was it, onto the evacuation. Then Joystick came in, and the guy was really one-legged. He took the 3 wounded on his ATV, came back, and we were left alone at the position. While he was gone, I stayed there alone on the radio set with an assault rifle on high alert. I thought, damn it, fuckers must have seen that they just injured 2 with a grenade. You just never know. So I sat there waiting for him. He came back, and I heard the drones again. They started terrorizing us. Woo! They dropped the first explosive payload at our entrance, hit the fence we had, tore right through it. Then came the second explosive payload, poof, but instead of an explosion, probably gas, chemical weapon, get the gas masks. I put on my gas mask, took a photo of myself, and sent it to my wife saying, "Nastia, I think they're poisoning us with chemicals."
Yes, a Soviet gas mask. When we were studying at the academy, we asked the colonel why we weren't allowed to wear beards. So, when there's a chemical hazard, you put on a gas mask, and with a beard, it won't seal properly. It'll seep through. I remembered that. So I pressed the mask down tightly on my face as fast as I could. I was sitting there thinking, it seems fine. It seems fine. And then they dropped this grenade. So I took a picture of it, an RGVO, just like this.
Was it one that didn't work, and you took a picture of it?
Yes, one didn't go off, but the other one did. And then I started having trouble breathing. Smoke was coming into the dugout. It was hard to breathe. I moved up as high as possible because the smoke was settling low. But it kept getting worse, burning, 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 really burning in my chest. I yelled, "Joystick, we have to get out of here." I was shouting through the gas mask. He replied, "Roger, let's move." I exhaled completely, started running out of the dugout, and there's arms room. We ran to the arms room, but it was full of smoke too. At that point, I couldn't. Maybe it was panic, maybe it was the gas. But I couldn't inhale, couldn't exhale, and I started to have a vomiting reflex. We hadn't eaten anything, just drank water, and I started vomiting water. As I threw up, I could finally take a breath. I'd vomit water, then exhale air. I have a picture of it, and I thought to myself, I'm going to die from this chemical weapon. We got reinforcements. One was Kenya from the National Guard, and then Yura from the Armed Forces of Ukraine. He didn't have a call sign.
Chemical agents, man, in trench warfare. So gnarly. That's, gosh, I don't know. I could probably say a million things about that, but...
So, at night, we were digging, recovering. There were night drones flying around, so we kept our movements minimal, just doing a bit of quiet digging with shovels, cleaning the trenches. It wasn't like we could lie down and sleep. Some were on guard duty, others were working, others were on watch with the thermal imaging camera. Then, a seriously heavy infantry assault started in the morning. One group was moving across the field, another group along the Miami, and another group managed to outflank us, unnoticed by the drones. He said that fucks were already entering Troy. Fucks were already consolidated there. They entered, started digging, so we were ordered to fire them. Skirmishing began. We shot at them. They heard that we were starting to shoot. They started shooting at us. We could not identify the target, so there was no direct contact. We just fired at each other. Then I said to Komish, fuck, I will attack them with RPG. He said that here was a thermobaric round. I loaded it up, fuck. He said that I hit right in their bunker. There was bunker, round landed right near it. There was a powerful blow. He said, give me everything you have, rounds, give it to me. I relayed over walkie-talkie, guys were bringing it, and we're fighting, so I said, guys, bring everything you have, except for the tandem charges, because these tandem charges are heavy. The guys brought over everything they could. And Komish, he's a short guy. We started loading the RPG. There's damaged sandbag. And you can balance on one foot on it to get close enough to do it, something I've never seen before. He hoisted the RPG onto his shoulder, dropped his rifle, and jumped on the bag with one foot, and he made shot while being at the highest point relative to the position. He made 4 shots. Every shot was perfect. I said, hey, Komish, you're a tool today. They're shooting single combat, and then a group of fucks entered. We got another call. Engage. You have in the trenches. They entered us from Troy, so we started firing them. Then I said, Komish, who's going in? So only we came. We did not involve the rest of the guys. They would rather stay on radio set, loading ammunition equipment. One was assigned to charged ammunition equipment. Another one we deployed on the observation post. I said, look, we're heading to the rear, keeping an eye on it to make sure that bastard doesn't attack us from behind. We went in, clearing the trenches. Look, there are 3 holes where they can sit. Now, if they have gone into the kitchen, there are 3 holes where they can really sit. Roger. Roger. So we went in, clearing the trenches. Tuk. You know, I felt like a stormtrooper. Tuk. Then he said, I'm out of ammo. So I pull him behind me and start providing cover fire. We worked so well together, I didn't think I could do that. Tuk. We got to the kitchen area, and I said, there's the last hole where he could be hiding. I said, let's throw grenades in there. He said, damn it, a gas cylinder. I said, who cares? And we tossed the grenades in. We threw the balloon. The fucker in short screamed there. I'm telling you this with a smile now, but then there was no smile at all. At 7.55, the assault started because I took a picture for a woman for good luck. End of the fighting was at 1922. From 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., it was pure stress, non-stop shootouts. Honestly, it was hell. By nightfall, we'd been hammered by FPVs all day. The explosions were so close, I could see the blast waves, see the fire from the detonations.
How many FPVs hit your dugout in total? Can you even count them?
It's impossible to count.
Was it hundreds?
It was every 10 minutes, all day. Every 10 minutes.
Did they land directly on your dugout?
No, they flew straight into the hole, detonating inside. It all collapsed. Fuck. We had an exit there, which we blocked with sandbags to create a narrow passage and support the ceiling. There was a narrow passage, there was a turn, and there was a 34-meter passage to the turn. At first, they hit that 34-meter section, and then we had direct hits. I could see it. A direct flight, unable to turn. It was obvious the signal was lost. FPV detonated in the bags. Bags were scattering. Since we were pressed against the wall, dirt flew all over us. It's a bit painful. It really hits the ears hard. especially in the bunker. It puts a lot of pressure on them. I watched those explosions and told the guys, if they destroy this section, or if it gets a signal and makes the turn, it's going to fly straight under our feet. I said, guys, we need to get out of here now. Here it's intact, but over there, damn, this is a total fuck. The next day, we loaded up RPGs and the AGS tripod. We left behind the Browning, our rifles, and, aside from grenades, we had no other weapons. I told the guys, let's head to the hole where I carried Komish. There's a dugout there. Our 2 NGU wounded soldiers used to serve there, but after the FPR hit them, we stopped posting anyone there. The dugout is partially collapsed, but we can sit it out there. 4 of us, 2 in one hole and 2 in the other. We're just going to sit there. We won't fire a shot, even if there would be an assault. If they would come, we won't expose ourselves in any way. We would wait for 24 hours, and in the morning we would come out. They said, Roger, Roger. We moved in, waited for 24 hours. The NGU drone dropped us some food, and we picked it up. Sanyal Hanesian and I stayed in one hole, while the other 2 old men were in a second dugout nearby, where the trench diverged. Here we are in one hole, and they are in the other dugout.
Oh my gosh, dude. You could tell how fresh this is in his mind, right? You could tell this probably didn't happen very long ago because he is just rattling off every little last detail and he remembers it so well. Let's leave this. We're already at almost 30 minutes. This will be part 1 of the series and we're about a third of the way through. Yeah, actually, so that'll work. One thing that I just wanted to touch on was that picture of the bunker, that in their bunker where they stacked the sandbags right there. Imagine if you were claustrophobic or had claustrophobia, right? Claustrophobia. That I don't really, and that made me feel a little claustrophobic. Being stuck back there with what? There was 7 of them, 8 of them. 8 guys total, stuck in this little area, watching these drones come in and right into your... Oh my god, dude. What a nightmare. I'm excited to start part 2, so I'm going to get on with it. Thank you guys for all the love on the channel. Please help me blow this channel up, man. The more support and views we can get on these videos, hopefully the more awareness we could bring to what's going on here in Ukraine. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you in part 2.